Welcome back, guys, to another Intel Tech Tip. Today I'm going to take you through the old traditional ball coupling as well as the DO35. What's the difference and why we use them? So the old generic 50mm ball coupling is a trial and error coupling. It's very good for the day-to-day use. Even for some off-roading, it's perfectly fine. This is the old traditional 50mm ball. You've got your adjuster lug and very simple function on this coupling. So from this, there has been some new developments where people has designed more thorough off-road couplings. That's articulate couplings. I'll take you through to the DO35 now. So on the DO35, the first most important thing that you will identify or notice is that you have a towing pin. You don't have the traditional ball coupling. You have got an actual pin. Now this pin has got a cone shape. So this cone shape is designed so the coupling can smoothly locate and drop over your coupling pin. Now you'll see that there is a cutout on this pin. That is where your locking pin slides in, which I'll show you the operation of very shortly. Now moving to the coupling itself, you'll notice a couple of very different things. So on this coupling, it has a standard handbrake and a very smooth operation. There are a couple of safety critical items which I would like you to understand. So number one, when you're looking at your coupling, you will see you have a grease nipple. On this grease nipple is where you would service it and ensure that you have this coupling well and truly greased. How do you know that? You will see a little bit of seepage through the front or the rear of your coupling when you have greased that function. At the back of this coupling, we have a castle nut. This castle nut has got a split pin, which is located through the knurl of this nut. Always make sure that that split pin is inside of your coupling. If it's missing, that nut will slowly loosen and you could lose the front of your coupling without even noticing. The bolts itself are hidden underneath these plastic caps. Now these plastic caps, if you lift them up, you will expose the nylock nuts and the bolts. It is very important that you check them because the reason we install them with a nylock nut at the top is when you lose a bolt, you can physically see that it is missing. If you install it the opposite direction with your nylock nut at the bottom, once the nylock falls off, you will actually not know that there's anything wrong with your coupling. You will drive like that and you will cause a potential accident. So having the nylocks at the top will show you when the bolts have fallen out, if ever have fallen out. It also gives you the time to inspect the bolts if there's any thread that's been loosened and you can inspect it. Now, at Intel Engineering, we torque up each and every bolt on our chassis. So these bolts will have a torque setting. Now, once we've done the torque settings on these bolts, which are at 120 newtons, once we've torqued up these bolts, we actually take a paint marker. Now with this paint marker, we will mark on the thread onto the nut so that you can see if the nut is loosening any shape or form, the misalignment in the mark will be present. So always have a look for the paint lines on the nuts to ensure that they are not having any movement in them. So once you've inspected your fasteners on this coupling, the bolts and nuts, make sure to replace the caps onto your bolts just to give it that aesthetic look. And that's very simple, it's just push on. So coming closer to the coupling, the first thing you will also see is that this is an articulate coupling, which means it can rotate and 360 degrees in all shapes and forms. Now, very important safety feature of this coupling is don't get it misjudged and accidentally tow it back to front and upside down. You can do that, it's not designed to do that. So on the top, it will, when you read it here, it actually says bottom. It has no wording when it's the top. So ensure that you will see the shape of it, it is pointing downwards. Now looking at the coupling itself, you'll see there is a reflective tape which will indicate the front of the coupling as well. When you remove the lid, this is where the important safety mechanism comes in. A brand new coupling, the lock is engaged. Now what a lot of people do is they forget that the lock is engaged. They will bring their towing vehicle up to your caravan or chassis they will then drop it into the coupling. It feels like it's locked in place and they will take off. But actually, it has not locked in place. What will happen is the ball weight of your van will bend the top housing of your coupling, and in turn will bend your pins. Your coupling will be deemed useless and you'll have to buy another one. So please ensure whenever you park your van that your coupling is always unlocked. So opening your locking pin before you hook it onto your towing vehicle. So your locking pin will slide into your towing coupling. You will then press the locking pin, and now that's not coming out. It is now safe to tow. So in this function, you always want to ensure when you take your coupling that there is no play or any additional variance or tolerance in your coupling in the up and down movements. If you notice any defect or damage to your coupling, please ensure to replace your towing equipment, as this is a safety critical article. All right. So other than that, guys, it's a very safe and well-trialed coupling. It is a newer style. That's not taking away from the old traditional ball couplings. These are also very great couplings, and these are more modern, more nicer appealing, and also very common lately. So guys, if you are interested in getting any of these couplings, speak to your dealers or go to any local network that sell these and acquire one. Also, the DO35 has got an ATM rating of 3.5 ton. So if you want to go up to 4 ton, this is not the one you want. So for 3.5 ton couplings, this is the one you want. All right guys, that wraps it up for the DO35 coupling. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.